Hey and welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. So those of us on PC with week 18 of our free gifts, we can claim a rank 15 enchantment choice pack. This is pretty neat. However, unfortunately, enchantments aren't really a thing you're going to worry about all too much until you're really maxed out your other areas on your character. You can see enchantments at maximum rank 15 only give 200 item level, albeit you will need a lot of them and they're pretty expensive. Rank 15s can get just over 1 million Astral Diamonds on the auction house, and many thanks to the trade bar store for really bumming down those prices. You can even purchase the kind of useless ones at much cheaper rate. Keep in mind which slots they can actually be used in. For example, these Timora ones are limited to just utility, and you can see that those are the standard prices right there. Ones that are cheaper are generally the ones that are not as much sought after. Now this enchantment choice pack contains pretty much every enchantment. Now keep in mind, depending on which role you are filling, whether that be DPS, tank or healer, you will ideally want a different set of enchantments. However, healers and DPS can generally fit well together if you get the right statistics. Healers just need power, critical strike and critical severity. As a DPS, you also want to get combat advantage, not so much the accuracy. You want to ideally focus on stats like this demonic has, just power, critical strike and critical severity. This would be ideal for a healer right there, since all three stats you'll want. Keep in mind there are three different enchantment types. You have single stat ones, you have double stat ones, and you also have triple stat ones. The triple stat ones are the ideal ones if you just want to focus on the stats that the enchantment gives you. For example, gigantic enchantments will give you critical strike, give you accuracy, and also critical severity. Now, in single stat enchantments like your silveries, you will obtain more combined rating, which makes up for the amount of stats the triple enchantments give you. When you do the math, combined rating adds to all of your stats, and you calculate that in, then you can see that they give exact amount of statistics as each other and same amount of item level. So if you're a DPS, you ideally want to run with enchantments that have 3 statistics. So your options here are gigantics, draconics, demonics, or your assassins. Now out of those 4 different enchantments, I do suggest the assassins. They will give you critical strike, they'll give you accuracy, but they'll give you a big boost in combat advantage. But again, take that with a grain of salt, because depending on what character you are, what statistics you have, and what you need, you might want different enchantments. You might want demonics instead for the extra power, critical strike, and also the critical severity boost. You might want draconics for the power, the accuracy, and the critical severity boost. Keep in mind that they will have a different spread of stats. For example, power there is giving 120, accuracy is 120, and the major one there is crit severity with 240, pretty much double right there. Gigantics giving crit strike, accuracy, and critical severity. Again, as a DPS, you want a triple stat in your offensive, single stat in your defensive, and for utilities, you generally want Azures for the extra movement speed, or if you're completely min-maxing, you'll go and chuck in Darks for that extra forte. As we can see there, they'll give 300. Healers, again, you ideally want a triple stat enchantment, but without accuracy or combat advantage. So assassins are out the windows, draconics are also out the window, and gigantics are also out the window, leaving you with just demonics as a viable option for a healer as a triple stat enchantment. Power, crit strike, and critical severity. If you're capped on critical severity, you might want to look at a double stat enchantment like Brutals or so on. As for tanks, again, you want a triple stat enchantment that's going to give you that nice spread of those defensive stats you need. You can see demonics again will give critical avoidance. They'll give you that deflection and also that maximum hit points. But again, ideally as a tank, you want a triple stat enchantment without the bonus to hit points. So that's demonics out the window. Draconics as well are gone, gigantics as well, which leaves you with those assassins, giving a boost to the critical avoidance, awareness, and also that deflection. And that is why, ideally as a tank, you also want assassins. Also keep in mind there is one unique enchantment here that will give you a boost in damage, just a little bit, and that is the Tenebrous. If you're a tank or if you're a DPS, make sure to chuck one of these into one of your offensive stats. It'll give you an extra little bit of boost in damage. Just a quick summary: as a DPS, you want those gigantics, those draconics, those demonics, or those assassins in your offensive stats. You just want a single stat enchantment in your defensive slots like Azures or Tacticals, and for utility you want your Darks or your Azures. As a healer, you want those demonics in your offensive stats. For defensive, you want something again like Azures or your Tacticals, and for offense, again it's Azures for move speed or Darks for forte. And for tanks, you ideally want assassins in your defensive slots. For your offensive stats, you want something like Radiance for power or Tacticals for combat advantage. And then for your utility, again, it's Darks for forte or Azures for move speed. And that's it. Hopefully again that this has been somewhat helpful to you guys. And again, I'd like to give a massive thank you to all of my channel members for helping me keep my channel going. And if I presented this well, consider leaving the video a like. And if you're new around here, consider subscribing. See you guys around. Goodbye for now.